In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah. This a message from my Heavenly Father, letting us know who we are. We was born in His image, gave the crown of dominion and authority.
So we are going to start a new lesson, and it's entitled, "What shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" So we want to start out in the New Testament in Matthew, the 24th chapter. What shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Let's go to Matthew's the 24th chapter. We're going to read one verse. Verse 3. Matthew's 24. And let's read verse 3, please.
Praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciple came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
So it says, and he is talking about Yahshua, sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, Amar, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? Talking about his second coming, because that was him on the earth, the first coming.
Okay.
And of the end of the world. So the disciples asked Yahshua about signs of his second coming and of the end of the world. So there are signs that Yahweh put in the Bible and told us about in the Bible that would let us know when these events or things were happening, that it was time for Yahshua's second coming and of the end of the world. Well, men that don't know Yahweh call this doomsday. So the Bible reveals the signs that precede the second coming. If we just keep on reading in this same chapter, it's not the only place, but let's just continue with verse 4, please.
And Yahshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
That's the first thing he said.
Okay.
And Yahshua Amar, responding to them, and Amar, unto them, take heed that no Adam deceive you.
Okay.
So what you will find in Matthew's 24th chapter is that people will be saying, Yahshua's come back, or I'm Yahshua, or this man is Yahshua, or that man is Yahshua. And we had a brother, his slave name was Hulon Mitchell, I believe it was. And he called himself Yahweh ben Yahweh. Well, you've had other people that have stood on the Mount of Olives and said, see, I said I would come back and stand on the Mount of Olives, so I'm Yahshua. Well, that brother is also dead and gone.
Right.
All right. So Yahshua said, first thing, take heed that no man deceive you. How do we not be deceived by a man? We listen to Yahweh.
Yeah, right.
We let Ruach HaKodesh tell us what's what. Verse 5.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
And there are people that actually believe that.
That right.
And when you watch the show for this brother and another brother, then you'll hear them talking about the Mahdik is here.
Yeah.
It was so sad. You saw little children talking about the Mahdik is here. And talking about Yahshua is here.
Okay.
It said, many, not a few, but many shall come in my Shem Amar. This is Yahshua talking, saying, I am the anointed one. I am the Savior. But, he said, they'll deceive many. So remember, the disciples asked Yahshua, what's the signs of his second coming and of the end of the world? We're in Matthew's the 24th chapter. All right, let's read verse 6, please.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
He says you're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. We've been hearing all kind of wars and rumors of wars. And what Yahweh is going to show us in this series is that man who's looking for doomsday, because they don't know Yahweh.
Okay. Yahweh,
they think that they're actually going to blow the planet up.
Yeah, so they think.
So these wars and rumors of wars, what some people have done, and they've stepped in and they've capitalized on this, and what Yahweh's going to show us is that ever since Yahshua left, they've been talking about he's going to come back. And they've been predicting and saying
Okay.
he's going to come back this date,
Right,
that
right,
date,
right.
this is going to happen, that's going to happen.
Right?
All right? So these wars and rumors of wars, there are people jumping out there and saying, okay, this is the end. This is it now, so get ready. Yahshua's coming back. All right, verse 7.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places.
And so I was listening to a show today where somebody was talking about how many earthquakes there have been, and talking about in Yellowstone Park, there have been so many eruptions and this and this and this. But their whole point was they were selling this survival kit,
Okay.
survival food.
Huh.
So again, Yahweh is showing us this trend because they're hooked on doomsday.
Okay.
Yahweh wants us to know exactly what's happening. He
Hallelujah.
said, you're going to hear those wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. He said, so my people, don't be troubled.
That right?
He said, for Goi shall rise against Goi, and Malkuth against Malkuth, and there shall be famines. You see the people over there, and you see the people that are saying, okay, we're going to do a well over here, dig a well because people are drinking this filthy water. Well, we're going to bring food over here because they don't have food. All right, so they're starving. Then some of them show you the pictures
Right,
where
right.
the babies are dying and they look so sick.
Right, right.
All right, so it says, kingdom against kingdom, there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. We heard about that tsunami several years ago, and there have been several. There was a tsunami type thing that went up against the coast of the United States, the eastern coast over there. All right, but he said, the end is not yet. Verse 8.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
All right, so this is the beginning,
Okay.
but he's saying Yahweh wants us to get a broader perspective and not jump out like some of these people that Yahweh going to show us. They've been crying wolf ever since Yahshua left.
Right, right.
He doesn't want us to do that.
That's
He
right,
said,
right.
all these are Habershil, or the beginning of sorrows. All right, verse 9.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Now what he's referring to now is what's called the Great Tribulation, which is a time of trouble where this religious power that's in effect is going to focus in on Yahweh's people and everybody that's not keeping the first day of the week and is not doing Christmas, Easter, and all this other stuff.
Tell it like it is,
It's
Rod.
not kissing the Pope's ring. So it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, whoever is doing something that's different from what the majority of the people are doing.
Right.
And shall kill you, and you shall be Saneh of all Goi for my Shem's sake.
Huh.
All right, verse 10.
And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
Huh.
All right, so these are things these are signs that he's saying. What's the sign? He's explaining to his disciples, what are the signs of his second coming and of the end of the world? All right, verse 11.
And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many.
And we know there are many, many, many false prophets, and Yahweh's going to show us some this evening. It says, many false nabis shall rise and shall deceive many. The only way we can be deceived is if we're not in Yahweh's word.
That's right.
And letting Yahweh teach us.
Hallelujah.
If we get too focused on a man and what a man says, then we'll leave the word of Yahweh and we'll be deceived.
So the animals can know.
We'll be following a false nabi.
Yes, you will.
And you can tell they're false when they stop telling you what's in the Bible.
Okay.
Like Jim Jones, they said he took the Bible and threw it on the floor in the middle of the auditorium, the church house where they were at, and said, you know what, we don't need this anymore. They should have hit the door then and there. That was a red flag.
Right there.
But people can get so focused on
The
natural
person.
people, then you can get messed up.
Yep. That's right.
All right.
Praise the
We
mighty
know
God.
how that turned out. Verse 12.
And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
All right, so we're in this cold society where people leave their babies in the garbage can, where fathers walk away from babies, mothers walk away from babies.
Hallelujah.
And we see where they, some have put their babies in cars and drove them into the lake.
Right, right.
This is talking about because iniquity, deep-seated sin, people have
Okay.
become so numb and so used to doing things that they don't even feel
Right.
the effect of it or realize the effect of it. They're just numb to it and they think that life doesn't matter. That's because deep-seated sin is abounding. It says, "How a half of many shall wax cold." They're just cold-blooded.
Yep.
Verse 13.
But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Hallelujah.
All right, so now he's saying these are some signs of
Hallelujah.
Yahshua's second coming and of the end of the world. Let's go to Yirmiyah or Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter. So now Yahshua's second coming is the beginning of what Yahweh says is the end of the world.
Okay.
See, people call it doomsday, but Yahweh's going to let us know this is what he says is the beginning of the end of the world.
Okay.
Yahweh's going to show us that what they call doomsday is when Yahweh is coming to take
Right,
over,
right.
when Yahshua is coming to set them down
Yep.
and to set up righteousness.
That's like it is, Rod.
For them it's doomsday, but it's not for us.
No, it's not. It's a
Go
wonderful
to
day.
Jeremiah 23.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Yahshua's second coming is the beginning of what Yahweh calls
Okay.
the end of the world.
The
So
end.
whatever Yahweh calls things, that's what they are.
That's what it is. With thus says
Jeremiah
Yahweh.
23, we want to start at verse 19. Jeremiah
Hallelujah.
23, and let's read verse 19, please.
Behold, a whirlwind of Yahweh is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked.
Huh.
All right, so that's not us.
That's right.
It says,
Not
behold,
anymore.
a whirlwind of Yahweh is gone forth
Okay.
in fury.
Okay.
Even a grievous whirlwind. It's talking about the day of Yahweh.
Right.
When Yahshua comes back.
Mm-hmm.
It shall fall grievously upon the head of Harashah.
Okay.
That's not us. We're Hakadashim.
That's right. Hallelujah.
Kadashim. We're
Hallelujah.
the saints. We're not the wicked.
That's right.
All right. It's not doomsday for us.
No, it's a glorious day.
Verse 20.
The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have executed
Huh.
and until he have performed the thoughts of his heart.
Mm.
In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly.
All right. The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his pay, his ruach. In the latter Yom ye shall consider it perfectly. And we're going to read in Daniel where there's some things that couldn't be understood until these days.
Right, right.
These are really the last of the latter
Yes,
of the last
they
days.
are.
He said, you shall consider it perfectly or have an understanding of what he's talking about
Hallelujah.
in these days and times.
Right.
Let's go to Yachanan or John the 8th chapter. John the 8th chapter. So it says this whirlwind is coming
Ooh.
when Yahshua's second coming comes,
Yeah.
and the end of the world is coming on the head of the wicked.
That's it.
Not us.
Not us.
John the 8th chapter, we're going to read one verse there. John 8 and verse 23.
Hallelujah.
John 8 and verse 23 reads,
And he said unto them, Ye are from beneath, I am from above. Ye are of this world, I am not of this world.
now Yahweh says that we are seated together with Yahshua in
Right,
heavenly
right.
places.
Right.
So he's talking to the Rasha, he's talking to the wicked.
That right?
And he among to them, ye are from beneath.
Huh.
I am from above. Ye are of this world. He's not
Okay.
talking to us. He's talking to the wicked.
That right?
He said, you are of this world. I am not of this world.
Okay.
So he tells us in another place, we're not of this
Right.
world. Why? Because we've joined him in Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
All right. Stay in the New Testament. Let's go to Matthew 24 again.
Praise the mighty
What
Yah.
shall be the sign of thy coming
Yeah,
and
right,
of the
right.
end of
So
the
they have
world?
to know.
Let's go to Matthew 24.
Praise the mighty Yah.
And
Praise.
we're going to read one
Zaha.
verse 14. Matthew
Hallelujah.
24 and verse 14.
And this doctrine of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Huh.
All right, so
Huh.
everybody has to hear the word.
Right, right.
And again now, Natural-minded people
Okay.
thinking the end of the world is doomsday.
Huh.
All right? But Yahweh lets us know what the end of the world is talking about. It's talking about Yahshua coming back
Okay.
and taking over. It
That's
says,
right.
and this doctrine of Hamakuth shall be Yara in all the world for
Oh.
witness unto
Oh.
all go we.
Right.
And then shall the end come.
Okay.
And it's going to be for witness because for Yahweh to be righteous, which he is, everyone has to hear it
Right, right.
and have the opportunity to accept
To
or reject.
choose.
So he's not doing anything. People try to lift up a person over in the Amazon jungle somewhere that never read the Bible and never heard about
Okay.
Yahshua.
Right, right.
Everybody will
He
have
said,
had
thus says
the
Yahweh.
opportunity before Yahshua comes back for his second coming to be a part of the first resurrection. Doesn't mean that the earth is going to end. Yahshua's second coming is the beginning of what Yahweh calls the end of the world.
Okay.
All right? And it's not doomsday. So
No, it's
we
not.
know that men have invented bombs and that they can cause what they think is doomsday to come.
Huh. Never happened.
They dropped 2 bombs in 1945 that they named Little Boy and Fat Man.
Okay.
They dropped these bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
Right. Japan.
Japan. So this is what men are thinking when you're talking about
Right,
the
right.
end of the world.
Right, right.
When you're talking about Armageddon and World War III.
Huh.
Nuclear weapons have been used twice in war, both times by the United States against Japan near the end of World War II. On August 6, 1945, the U.S. Army Air Forces detonated a uranium fission bomb nicknamed Little Boy over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. 3 days later, on August 9th, the U.S. Army Air Force detonated a plutonium bomb nicknamed Fat Man over the Japanese city of Nagasaki. At the time of the bombing, Hiroshima was home to 280 to 290,000 civilians and 43,000 soldiers. Between 90,000 and 166,000 people are believed to have died from the bomb in the 4-month period following the explosion. The U.S. Department of Energy has estimated that after 5 years, there were 200,000 or more fatalities as a result of the bombing. While the city of Hiroshima had 237,000 people, they were killed directly or indirectly by the bomb's effect. Now they calling this Little Boy and Fat Man. It says the bomb's effects included burns, radiation sickness, and cancer.
Right.
The city of Hiroshima was annihilated by the explosion. 70,000 of 76,000 buildings were damaged or destroyed, and 48,000 of them were entirely leveled to the ground. These bombs resulted in the death of approximately 200,000 civilians and military personnel from the explosions. And it says the survivors were describing what it was like to see a city just leveled to the ground.
Right, right.
So we hear about nations coming up with the formula for an even deadlier bomb called the nuclear bomb. Now that was the atom bomb.
Okay.
All right. Now the nuclear bomb has been invented. The largest nuclear bomb was detonated by the USSR. 6 countries, the United States, Russia, United Kingdom, China, France, and India have conducted nuclear bomb tests. North Korea claims to have conducted a test in January 2016.
Okay.
These nations have their fingers on the button that can destroy the earth, everything in it, everyone that lives on the earth. So those bombs can do that. The nuclear bomb. Nuclear bomb. The detonation of any nuclear weapon is accompanied by a blast of neutron radiation. This device can produce large quantities of long-lived radioactive contamination. It has been speculated that such a device could serve as a doomsday weapon. Again, this is how natural-minded people think. because such a large quantity of radioactivities with half-lives of decades, so we're talking about 10, 20, 30 years, where the winds would distribute the bomb around the globe and would make all life on the planet extinct. And man would do this. But Yahweh lets us know in here, man would do that.
Yeah, they would.
But,
hallelujah.
So we're in Matthew's 24th chapter. We're going to skip down to verse 22.
Hallelujah.
So these bombs being pointed at the other nations is what the men assume is keeping them from hitting the buttons and causing doomsday. They think, okay, we got these bombs pointed at each other, so nobody will hit the button because then that'll blow everybody else up. So they think that's what's holding it back.
Right. So
no,
they
it's not. And you see these different pictures where somebody accidentally messed up and hit the button, and then they're running around trying to stop it from going off. It'll never get that close.
Never.
All right, let's get down to
Praise
Matthew
the
24
mighty Yah.
and verse 22. They think they're stopping it. No, they're not. Verse 22.
And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
So you see why? They will never drop that nuclear bomb? Because Yahweh's protecting us.
Hallelujah.
Yahweh's not going to let them. You can have every country out here can have a bomb. Yahweh is never going to let them. Let that bomb go. It says, and except those Yowm should be shortened. In other words, where the wickedness is just growing so far and so fast, you see them on TV advertising cancer treatment center and cancer this and take a medication for this and this and this. They've found the most wicked weapon. But then when it comes to helping somebody and curing them from cancer, they're way behind. Why? Because that's good. The world is so focused on wickedness. So you're always talking about, except that wickedness be shortened. There should no flesh be saved. In other words, they would blow up everybody. And the nuclear bomb kills plants, it kills everything. All right? But for our sake, for the elect's sake, those Yowm shall be shortened. In other words, Yahshua is going to come back and stop it. That's what they call doomsday. But really, it's Yahweh. He says, look up for your redemption.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All right, so it's not men, it's Yahweh stopping them from annihilating the earth to protect his people.
Hallelujah.
So when the Bible records the end of the world, it's not referring to men dropping any bombs.
No, y'all won't allow that.
Doomsday happen. So let's go back up in the first verse of this chapter and let's start again. Matthew's 24 and let's read verse 1.
Praise mighty Yah.
Matthew 24 and 1. And Yahshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple.
Verse 2.
And Yahshua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Now, here's where I take issue with going up there to the wall. All right, there's a wall over there in Jerusalem. Somebody's lying here. And it's not Yahshua.
No, it's not.
It said that they were showing the buildings of Shabbat, or the temple of Yahweh.
Y'all right.
And Yahshua amar unto them, see ye not all these things? Truly, I amar unto you, there shall not be left here one sword, not one, upon another that shall not be thrown down. So there's people that's sticking things in the prayers in the wall, and they, at the Yahshua said there would not be one stone upon another that wouldn't be thrown down. So that temple got torn up.
Yes, it did.
Period.
70 AD.
All right. So they can wail at the wall all they want. Yahweh said, let Jerusalem come into your mind. And pray towards that holy place.
Hallelujah.
All right. So whatever they're over there doing, We shouldn't be running over there trying to touch that wall.
Oh, no.
Yahshua said it right here.
And it happened.
All of that got busted up.
Yeah.
All right, verse 3.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciple came unto him privately, saying, Tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
So this is what this lesson is about.
Okay.
It says, and as Yahshua sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, Amar, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Let's go to Yachanan or John, the 15th chapter. So Yahshua's second coming and the end of the world are not bad things for us.
Oh, no, they're
Yahweh's
not.
people, they are not. John
It's a glorious
15.
occasion.
So we do not have to be upset or
Oh,
troubled
no.
at all. John 15, we're going to read one verse, verse 19.
Hallelujah.
John 15, let's read verse 19, please.
If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you.
All right, so
Praise
he
the
puts
mighty
things
Yah.
in perspective for us.
Hallelujah.
He said if you were of the world would have you.
Yeah.
But they don't love you.
No, they don't.
They hated that you're different. They hated that you're
Hallelujah.
assembling on the Shabbat. They hated that you're saying Yahweh and Yahshua.
Right. Y'all right,
and
Rob.
Ruach HaKodesh. He said, but because you
Tell
are
it like
not
it
of
is.
the world.
That's right.
So Yahshua's second coming and the end of the world is dealing with the wicked.
That's it. That's it.
He said, but I have chosen you out of the
Hallelujah.
world. Therefore the world snay you or hate
Yep.
you. But that's all right.
It's all good.
Hey, because in the end, Yahweh and Yahshua are the ones that's going to be standing.
That's right. We win.
And us
We win.
along with them.
We win in the
All
end.
right, let's go to Luke, the 21st chapter. So there is no reason whatsoever for us to be calling Yeshua's second coming doomsday or
Oh,
the battle of Armageddon or Armageddon. We don't need to be referring to that as doomsday unless we're on the other side and ignorant of
Yeah.
Yahweh and end up fighting against him.
Oh, yeah. The end is doomsday for you.
Luke 21. Now here's what the wicked are going to do.
Okay.
Verse 26. Let's start
Hallelujah.
at 26. Luke 21. And let's read verse 26, please.
Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of Shemayim shall be shaken.
Huh.
All right, so you have a bunch of people talking about the wars and rumors of wars. You're talking about the famine. You're talking about the earthquake.
Right.
And they're having, heart attacks and strokes. It says men's pay or their ruach failing them for fear.
Okay.
For looking after those things which are coming on high earth.
Yep.
And you do see these things coming.
Uh-huh.
And they are telling you, well, you know what, there's more earthquakes and there are worse earthquakes. You hear about sinkholes opening up and you hear about people in their bed and then there's just a sinkhole and they just go down into it. But again, you don't have to be concerned.
Y'all right,
Just
Rob.
stay right. Just
So
be
they
right
have to
with
know.
Yahweh. This is not something that's going to come near you.
That's right. It's a
Yahweh said in
promise from
Psalm
Yahweh.
91, 1,000 shall fall at your side, but it shall not come near you. Because you're dwelling in the secret place
Hallelujah.
of El Elyon, the Most
That's
High.
right.
All right? Just some of the wicked's heart failing
That's
them
right.
for fear. Because
Tell
they're
that
thinking
is
this
right.
is doomsday. They're thinking this is the end. It is for them
Yeah.
if you're wicked.
Yeah.
But while there's life, they have a chance to repent
Hallelujah.
and turn.
Praise Yahweh. That right.
All right, verse 27.
And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory.
Verse 28.
And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
Yeah.
All right, so it says then
Yes.
they're going to see Haban of Adam, that's Yahshua, coming in a cloud with Mashal and great kavod.
Right.
And when these things become to pass, he said, now this is what you all do, my people.
Hallelujah.
Look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. He said
Hallelujah.
it's time to party
I
now.
know, right?
This is a good time.
Yes.
It says if we groan, waiting to be clothed upon with our
Hallelujah.
tabernacle from Shemayim. We groan. We'll be glad
Yeah.
to let Yeshua come so we can admire him.
Praise
All right,
the
let's
mighty
go to
God.
Psalms, the 22nd chapter.
Hallelujah.
So when these things, you got some people having a stroke and a heart attack, he said, no, that's not you, my
Right,
people.
right.
You look up. You said, ooh, okay, come on.
I know, right?
Even so, come, Master Yahshua, because it's good. Psalms 22. So the end of the world is Yahshua's second coming to put down men's government and authority and to take his place as the governor of the earth. That's why they talking about his doomsday. Because he said he's going to rule them with a rod of iron. He's going to make them do right.
Okay.
If they don't, they're going to die. All right? See, now they have a choice.
Okay.
And they're choosing, most of them are choosing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But now the end of the world is Yahshua coming.
Yep.
To put down their authority. And to take his place. Psalm 22, let's start at verse 27, please.
Hallelujah.
All the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto Yahweh, and all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before thee.
28.
For the kingdom is Yahweh's, and he is the governor among the nations.
All right, so all the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto Yahweh, and all the kindreds of Hagoish shall shout out before thee. For Hamalkuth is Yahshua's.
Yeah.
And he is the governor.
Yes.
Among Hagoish.
Oh.
He's the governor over the earth.
Yes.
And that's why they're going to have a stroke and a heart attack. Because Yahweh says in another place, and hopefully we'll get to it, they're going to look up because the heaven's going to roll back like a scroll.
Okay.
And they're going to see some people, some heavenly beings where they've been brainwashed thinking they look one way and they look another way. Let's go to Daniel or Daniel, the 7th chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah.
So the kingdom is Yahshua's and he's the governor over all the nations. He came the first time as the lamb, but he's coming back as Milkamah Iysh.
Okay.
That is
warrior.
A warrior, that's right, champion of war. Daniel 7, one verse, verse 11.
Hallelujah.
Daniel 7 and verse 11.
I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame.
Now this is talking about the result, the end of the battle of Armageddon or Armageddon. It says, I beheld then because of the voice of the great Debar, which is the horn of Mar, and that's talking about the anti-Mashiach. I beheld even until the beast, the military head, was slain, and his Gibeah destroyed and given to the burning flame. That's talking about the lake of fire.
Right.
Over here in Daniel, it's talking about the outcome of the battle.
Right. Praise the mighty Yah.
Armageddon or Armageddon.
Hallelujah.
Let's go over to Revelation and look at it. Revelation 19.
Hallelujah. Praise the mighty
This
Yah.
is Yahshua. And this army from Shemayim, us giving their body to the burning flame.
Okay.
Revelation 19. And we're going to read 2 verses. Verses 19 and 20. Revelation 19. And let's read verse 19.
And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army.
Now that's talking about us. Plus it's talking about Yahshua. And it's talking about the army from Shemayim.
That right.
And the beast again, that's the military head. And Hamelech or the kings of Ha'eret, these are these heads of state.
Okay.
Well, they won't actually be there, but they will have sent their armies over there to represent them. Because everybody will be gathered over there in Jerusalem, near Jerusalem, for this last battle.
Thus says Yahweh.
World War III, they call it Armageddon. In Hebrew it's Armageddon. It says, I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse. That's talking about Yahshua.
Okay.
That sat on the horse and against his army.
Okay.
It's talking about the Malachim from Shemayim. And it's also talking about the resurrected and the chained.
Yes. Hallelujah. That right.
All right, verse 20.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone.
All right, so you see, that's the same thing Daniel said,
Right,
7th chapter. And the beast was taken, and with him the false Nabi that wrought miracles before him. It talks about this Nabi will be able to cause fire to come down from Shemayim. That's Hasatan doing those false miracles.
Right.
But it will convince natural-minded people to don't know Yahweh.
Right.
Just like you see, if something look like whatever, and then they go over there and they put flowers and tell them about the rock is crying and all this other stuff. With that little stuff, so you know good and well, if they see something come down
I know, right?
From heaven or from the sky, then they're going to assume the worst and start worshiping this false prophet.
Y'all right.
Wrought miracles before him, and with he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. And that's your thinking, that's your understanding. That's going along with the rest of the world just because the majority of people believe something. And then it has Shaka, his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. Let's go back to Daniel, the 7th chapter. So we're looking at Yahshua taking his governorship.
Okay.
Right? Daniel 7. And he is going to put down everybody in the earth.
Right.
That is in any type of authority. Political, kingship, whatever it is. It's all going to be put down.
That right?
Daniel 7, this time we're going to start at verse 12.
Hallelujah.
Daniel 7, and let's read verse 12.
As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
So it's not a bomb being dropped.
That right.
It's Yahshua coming back and stripping them of their power.
Right.
And however much they resist, their lives will be taken.
Yeah.
They don't have to die, but everybody in the world will not be killed. It says, as concerning the rest of the beasts, he's just talking about these nations. All right. They had their dominion, their rulership taken away. Yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time to see what they're going to do. Right. You're going to come in line or not? Because Yahshua, he's got that rod of iron and he's not playing this time. He's not coming in as the lamb. He's not giving his life anymore. He already did.
Praise the mighty Yahweh.
Now he's coming as the enforcer. All right. And again, we're glad about it.
Hallelujah.
Verse 13.
I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of Shemayim, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. All right, so now this is after Yeshua's death, burial, and resurrection, and this is when Yahshua did what was necessary according to spiritual law to take back the dominion.
Yes, he did.
And now he's coming where Father Yahweh can give it to him officially.
Hallelujah.
He got it by what he did on the earth, coming to live this sinless life, according to what the laws of Yahweh said, because it was a natural man that lost it. Flesh and blood. So he had to come according to the law and get it back that same way. So now he's coming to Atik Yom, that's the Ancient of Days, that's talking about the Father. And the Father is going to officially, you know how in these Go-Wheat kingdoms, in the old days, they'll have the king take a sword and, hit one shoulder and the other shoulder. So they picked up some of that from here. This is Yahweh now officially going to give him the dominion back, even though he had already taken it back. All right, verse 14.
And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
So this is the beginning, again, of the end of the world for everybody that had power in this world. It says, and there was given him, this is talking about Yahshua, dominion and kabod and a malkuth, that all Gowi and languages should ebed him. So this is for the people that say we don't worship Yahshua. Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We worship both of them, the Father and the
All
Son.
right.
It says, should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away. So from that point forward, Yahshua is going to be ruling and reigning.
Yes.
He's the governor of the earth.
Yes.
There won't be anybody else in power. All right, which shall not pass away, and his Malkut, that which shall not be destroyed.
Okay.
All right, we're in Daniel. Let's go to the 2nd chapter. So
Hallelujah.
Yahshua's second coming is for putting down all rule,
Right.
reign, authority, and power
Okay.
on the earth.
That's right.
This is the beginning of the end of the world, and it's being forcibly taken over
Okay.
by Yahweh and Yahshua from
Hallelujah.
then on. We see that his kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion is everlasting.
Yes, it
It shall
is.
not pass away.
Won't.
Once Yahshua comes back the second time, that's it.
Hallelujah.
That's doomsday for the secular world. That's
That right.
doomsday for the natural
Just like it
world,
is, Rob.
not for
So
us.
him to know.
Daniel 2, 1 verse 44.
Hallelujah.
And in the days of these kings shall the Elohim of Shemayim set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Yahweh say,
Hallelujah.
okay, now how many times do I have to tell you
Right.
that? Yahshua is here to stay
That
once
right.
he comes back. And we are here to stay.
Hallelujah.
Righteousness is here to stay.
Praise the mighty Yah.
And in Hayam of these Melech shall Ha Elohim of Shemayim
Okay.
set up a Malkuth which shall never be destroyed.
Never.
And Ha Malkuth shall not be left to other Am.
Never again.
Yahshua is going to do this personally.
That's right.
But it shall break in pieces and consume all these Malkuth
Okay.
and shall stand forever.
Hallelujah.
So they're going down. They're
That
going
right.
to stay down.
Yeah.
They will never revive. You know, like in
Never.
the world, like one nation, okay, they can go and conquer another
Right,
nation.
right.
And then they reign for however many centuries.
Uh-huh.
Then another nation stronger, they come and they conquer. And all that will be
It's
over.
over.
All of that will be over. Let's go to Yeshayah or Isaiah. So it says, in the days of these kings, in the days of these political heads, king, shah, whatever you call them, they're going to be set down.
Yes, they are.
Daniel 2. They can go peaceably or they cannot. But
Okay,
you see,
okay.
they're not going peaceably because we're going to see Yahshua going to have some of them eyes melt away in their head and
Okay.
tongues in their mouth.
Okay. Just says Yahweh.
Isaiah 2, and I'm going to start at verse 1.
Hallelujah.
Isaiah 2, and let's read verse 1, please.
The word of Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem.
Verse 2.
And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
So this is talking about, again, these people, the nations being stripped of their power.
Right.
And it shall come to pass in the last Yom that the mountain of Yahweh's bias shall be Asa in the top of the mountains. Whatever's the highest government somebody has here,
Uh-huh.
Yahshua's government is going to be on top of
Hallelujah.
that. All right? And shall be exalted above the hills. So you got some big governments, you got some little governments. Either way, it says in that image in Daniel, he breaks those toes up.
Okay.
And it was a stone that came without hands. That's talking about Yahshua, and
Right,
busted
right.
those toes up.
That's
so
right.
that represented all these nations
Yes,
and all
it
these
does.
powers. All right, it will break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. And it says, Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and be exalted above the hills, and all goings shall flow into it.
Uh-huh.
Now, Yahshua going to have to force some of them.
Okay.
And we're going to see where he's going to not let it rain and different things going
Right,
to happen. So then they're going to be forced
For us to come
to
shaka.
come. That's right. Verse 3.
And many people shall go and say, Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the Elohim of Yaakov, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem.
Hello.
All right, because Yahshua's going to be there.
Right.
And many shall go in Amar. Come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to Habayah, the Elohim of Yaakov. They said, yeah, because things are not working good now. Hey, we need to go and make some peace. We need to get right with this.
Right, right.
And he will yara of us of his ways.
Okay.
So everybody's going to come around to righteousness one way or another. And we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth HaTorah and HaDabar of Yahweh from Jerusalem.
Hallelujah.
Let's go to Micah, the 4th chapter. So we're just looking at Yahshua's governorship.
Right.
And it's a sure thing.
Yes,
Micah
it is.
4.
It is written.
And we're going to read verses 1 and 2. Micah 4.
Hallelujah.
And let's read verse 1, please.
That in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it.
So you're talking about something being established. This is set in stone. Yahshua is the stone. He's the chief cornerstone. This is not something temporary.
Okay.
Again, once Yahshua comes and sets it up, it's going to be set up.
Yes, it is already done.
It shall come to pass that the mountain of Habayah to Yahweh shall be Eitzah or Mat in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and Am shall flow unto it.
Okay.
They're coming up there to Shaka Yahweh.
That right.
To Shaka Yahshua.
That right.
Verse 2.
And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, and to the house of the Elohim of Yaakov, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem.
Hallelujah.
So we're saying identical to what
Right.
Yahshua said. All right. Many nations we shall come in Amar. Come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh and to Habayah of the Elohim of Yaakov, and he will yara us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For HaTorah shall go forth of Zion, and the Dabar of Yahweh from Jerusalem.
Hallelujah.
Let's go to 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. So Yahshua's return to earth the second time has been falsely theorized as the rapture theory.
Okay. Y'all right, so the hams can know.
So it's been falsely theorized as the rapture theory. And people who do not study the Bible assume that the rapture is a true Bible doctrine.
Yes, they do.
But it is not.
Nah.
We're going to 2 Kepha, the 3rd chapter. This theory was made up in 1830 by John Darby as a new doctrine in the Roman Christian Church. Again, we're not Roman Christians.
I know, right?
All right, we are Yahwehites.
That's right. Praise the mighty Yah. What an honor.
John Darby's rapture theory had a big impact on modern Roman Christianity. And you can hear it taught in almost all Sunday churches.
Okay.
And this is one of the theories in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, that has caused people to disbelieve what Yahweh put in the Bible.
Okay.
Because you have this falsity floating around, and you have these people crying wolf, talking about what's going to happen on what day.
Okay.
All right, 2 Peter 3, and let's read verse 3, please.
Hallelujah.
Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts.
Verse 4.
And saying, Where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
All right, so you have, it says, Yada this first, there shall come in the last Yowm. Now, the last day started as soon as Yahshua left.
That right.
So they've been going on for at least 2,000 years.
Okay.
All right, because they reset the calendar to 0, and then they started, coming back up again. Knowing this first, that there should come in the last Yowm scoffers, walking after their own lust. And what are they scoffing about? and Amar. Where is the promise of his coming? He
Okay.
said he was coming back a second time. Where is it? Well, you have people saying all kind of stuff. Some saying he never came.
Right.
Some saying he's never going to come.
Okay.
It says, where is the promise of his coming? For since Abba fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. So rapture supporters believe in crying wolf by setting their own dates.
Okay.
And saying, okay, he's coming back here and here and here. And this is what's caused a lot of people to disbelieve what Yahweh put in the Bible. Some do not give specific dates, but keep writing books predicting the end is always very near. Now I have this thing that I searched out on the web, and it says 242 failed dates set for the end of the world. 242. And they started out in 44 AD.
Wow.
44 AD. This man named Theudas declared himself the Messiah. And he took 400 people into the desert, but he was beheaded by Roman soldiers.
Okay.
But he claimed he was Yahshua, and he came back in 44 AD. 53 AD. Before all the books of the Bible were written, there was talk that Yahshua's return had already taken place. So you see, throughout the years, and again, I had 25 pages of this. So every few years, people, he's coming back, he's coming back. So people have become numb.
Right.
And desensitized.
Yes, they have.
That's why you tell them Yahshua's second coming, and then it just goes in one after year and another, because they've been hearing it over and over.
Right. In that line.
80 AD. This guy named Ben Zakkai, he died at 80 years old, and he expected the Messiah to come before he died. So when he was 80, he said, okay, Yahshua's going to come. Well, he didn't. 100 to 200 AD, this rabbi said that the Messiah would come back in 40 years. He didn't come. 130 AD. This rabbi thought the Messiah would come in 3 generations or 60 years in 130 AD after the destruction of the temple. You know, our people were taken out by the Romans in 70 AD.
Okay.
So then this man came and said, okay, 3 generations later, in 130 AD, Yahshua's coming back. That's a lie. 381 AD, this man Chaconus, he wrote in the 4th century, said, okay, Yahshua's coming back in 381 AD. Crying wolf. 400 AD, and I'm just going to read the dates because there's so many. 435 AD, 470 AD, 500 AD, 950 AD, 980 AD, 964 AD, 965 AD. So you have people crying wolf, crying wolf. And you know, we've seen some people crying wolf and telling people, okay, you know what, go and sell, you know, sell your home and sell all your...
Right.
You know what, they did it on one side of town, right? And everybody went and sold all their stuff. So this is what they've been doing throughout the years. This is the same thing in having the people. 968 AD, panic in Otto's army at an eclipse the soldiers took to be the end of the world. Well, different people have said, okay, blood moons and eclipse and this and that. It's the same thing that's been happening since Yahshua left the earth. 969 AD and 980 AD, 979 AD, 983 and 984 AD. Now this guy, he said he was coming in 965, and he came back in 969 and said, oh, I made a mistake. I zigged when I should have zagged. So it's going to happen now in this time. Well, it didn't happen. And this is, and then he comes back again in 983 and says, oh, you know what, I messed up again. So this is when it's going to happen. 989, Hades' comet appears. So they thought that was the end of the year.
Okay.
990, 1010, 992, 994, 995, 996, 999. Now, 1000. And this puts me in the mind of Y2K.
Okay.
But remember what they're saying, oh, the year 2000, this is going to happen.
Okay.
All right. 1000. This year goes down as one of the most pronounced states of hysteria over the return of Mashiach. All members of the society seemed affected by the prediction that Yahshua was coming back on January 1, 1000 AD. It's identical what they did. 2000, right?
Yeah.
January 1. The magical number 1000 was primarily the sole reason for the expectation. During December 1999 AD, everyone was on their best behavior. Worldly goods were sold and given to the poor. Sound familiar?
Right.
Swarms of pilgrims headed east to meet Yahshua at Jerusalem. Buildings went unrepaired. Crops were left unplanted. Criminals were set free from jails. The year 999 AD turned into 1000 AD and nothing happened.
Right.
Just like 2000
Right.
AD. So you see, it's the same old thing. The devil's doing the same old, same old. All right, so we got 1000. Then we go to 1002. So somebody came in a couple of years later and said, okay, let's try it again. 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1014, 1018, 1022, 1024, 1025, 1026, 1027. Can you just see how the people just crying wolf? Nothing ever happened. 1029, 1032, 1033, 1046, 1186. This letter that somebody wrote warned everybody to hide in the caves and the mountains because the world would be destroyed and only a few would be spared. 1415, 1420, 1524, 1533, 1534, 1572, 1621, 1650, 1656, 1660, 1666, 1715. This says Christ is coming. It said Isaac Newton put this note in his research on the law of gravity. Because he discovered the law of gravity and he said, oh, Yahshua got to come back now. 1809, 1814. Now this lady, Joanna Southcott, she made the claim that she, by virgin birth, would produce the second Yahshua. Her abdomen began to swell, and so did the crowds of people around her. The time for birth came and passed. She died soon after, and autopsy revealed it had been a false pregnancy.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah. This a message from my Heavenly Father, letting us know who we are. We was born in His image, gave the crown of dominion and authority. Adam gave it all.